Indonesia is a land where history is not only written in books, but carved into stone, sung in temples, and whispered across ocean. People. Imagine standing on the plains of central Java at dawn. Mist rises from the rice fields, and in the distance, the silhouette of a temple pierces the horizon. That temple is not just stone, it is a message from a king, a declaration of faith, power, and vision. From the earliest rulers of Tarumanagara, who carved their footprints into stone, to the mighty kings of Majapahit, who dreamed of uniting the archipelago, to the sultans who blended Islam with local traditions, Indonesia's monarchs were more than rulers. They were storytellers, guardians, and visionaries. Their legacies live on in temples, in traditions, and in the spirit of the people. To know them is to know the soul of the archipelago.
In the 4th century, long before the world knew the name Indonesia, the kingdom of Tarumanagara flourished in West Java. Its ruler, King Purnawarman, left behind inscriptions carved into stone, his footprints etched into history. These were not mere carvings, they were symbols of divine authority, likening him to Vishnu, the preserver of the universe. But Purnawarman was not only a spiritual figure, he was a builder. He ordered the construction of irrigation canals that transformed dry land into fertile rice fields. Imagine the sight: farmers guiding water through newly dug channels, rice paddies shimmering under the sun, and a kingdom thriving because its ruler understood that power was not only measured in armies, but in the ability to feed his people. His legacy was not only in stone, but in the flowing rivers that sustain generations. Purnawarman's reign reminds us that the earliest kings of Indonesia were not distant figures. They were leaders whose decisions shaped the daily lives of their people.
By the 8th century, central Java rose under King Sriwijaya. A devout Hindu, Sriwijaya expanded his dynasty's influence and laid the foundations for Prambanan, the towering temple complex dedicated to Shiva. His reign symbolized the fusion of faith and power. In Srivijaya's time, kings were seen as earthly reflections of the gods. To rule was to maintain cosmic balance. The temples he inspired were not just places of worship, but cosmic diagrams carved in stone, reminders that the king's duty was to harmonize heaven and earth. Picture the construction of Prambanan, thousands of workers hauling stone, artisans carving intricate reliefs, priests chanting prayers as the spires rose higher and higher. The temple was not just a monument to the gods, but a monument to Srivijaya's vision, a declaration that his dynasty was chosen to guard the balance of the universe.
While Srivijaya's dynasty honored Shiva, the Sailendra dynasty embraced Buddhism. King Samaratunga, in the 9th century, oversaw the construction of Borobudur, the largest Buddhist temple in the world. Rising like a stone mountain from the jungle, Borobudur is a mandala in 3 dimensions. Pilgrims circled its terraces, ascending from the world of desire to the realm of enlightenment. Each level was a lesson, each carving a story. Samaratunga's reign was marked by peace, allowing such a monumental project to flourish. His legacy is not a battlefield, but a temple that still draws seekers from across the globe. Borobudur remains a silent sermon in stone, a king's gift to eternity.
In the 12th century, the kingdom of Kediri flourished in East Java, and at its helm was King Jayabaya, a monarch remembered not for conquest, but for prophecy. Jayabaya's reign was marked by stability and prosperity, yet his fame rests on his visions of the future. He is said to have predicted the arrival of pale-skinned invaders who would dominate the land, the coming of horseless carriages that would thunder across the earth, and ships that would sail the skies. Centuries later, when Dutch colonizers arrived, when cars rolled through Java's streets, and when airplanes roared overhead, people recalled Jayabaya's words. His prophecies became a source of hope during dark times, suggesting that foreign rule would one day end. Jayabaya was not only a king, but a prophet king, whose visions shaped the imagination of a nation. Even today, his name is invoked when Indonesians speak of destiny, as if his spirit still whispers guidance across the centuries.
In 1293, the Mongol Empire sent fleets to punish a rebellious vassal in Java, but Raden Wijaya, a cunning prince, turned the invaders against his rivals, then drove them out. From this victory, he founded Majapahit, the greatest empire in Indonesian history. Raden Wijaya's story is one of resilience and strategy, of turning danger into opportunity. Imagine the chaos of Mongol soldiers marching inland, only to be betrayed and ambushed by the very man they thought was their ally. Out of this turmoil, a new kingdom was born. Raden Wijaya's reign laid the foundation for an empire that would dominate Southeast Asia for centuries. His courage was the spark that lit the flame of Majapahit's golden age, a flame that still burns in Indonesia's national memory.
Majapahit's golden age came not only from kings, but from a man who served them, Gajah Mada, the prime minister. In the 14th century, he swore the Palapa Oath, vowing not to taste spices until he had united the archipelago. Under his leadership, Majapahit's fleets sailed to Sumatra, Borneo, even the Philippines. His vision of unity was centuries ahead of its time, a dream of Indonesia before the word existed. Gajah Mada's name became synonymous with ambition and determination. Though he was not a king, he is remembered as one of the greatest figures in Indonesian history. His oath became a prophecy of unity that still inspires Indonesians today, a reminder that the dream of one nation was born long before independence.
Majapahit's strength was also shaped by a queen, Tribhuwana Tunggadewi. She ruled with wisdom and courage, expanding the empire's reach. In a world dominated by men, she proved that leadership was not bound by gender. Like Elizabeth I of England, she balanced diplomacy, war, and culture. Under her reign, Majapahit flourished, and her legacy endures as a symbol of female power in Indonesian history. She was a queen who carried the weight of an empire and whose vision helped shape its destiny. Tribhuwana's reign reminds us that the story of Indonesia's monarchs is not only about kings, but also about queens who defied expectations and left their mark on history.
As Majapahit declined, new powers rose under the banner of Islam. In Aceh, Sultan Iskandar Muda built a naval empire in the 17th century, controlling the spice trade and challenging European powers. His fleets patrolled the seas, his ports bustled with merchants, and his court became a center of learning and culture. In Java, Sultan Agung of Mataram sought to unite the island, blending Islamic faith with Javanese tradition. He launched campaigns against rival states and even against the Dutch in Batavia. But Sultan Agung was more than a warrior. He was a patron of culture, remembered for his reforms in the calendar and his efforts to harmonize Javanese traditions with Islam. These sultans represented a new era where Islam became the guiding force of kingship. They were warriors, but also visionaries, shaping a society where faith and power walked hand in hand.
After Majapahit's fall, Bali became a sanctuary for Hindu traditions. Kings like Dewa Agung of Klungkung preserved rituals, art, and culture that still thrive today. In Bali, the king was not only a ruler, but also a spiritual guardian, ensuring that the balance between gods, humans, and nature was maintained. Across the islands, other rulers resisted colonial encroachment. The kings of Banjar, Bone, and Bhutan fought to preserve their independence, even as Dutch power grew. Their kingdoms may not have commanded vast empires, but they safeguarded identity, ensuring that traditions survived even in the face of foreign domination. Their palaces were not just seats of power, but fortresses of culture, protecting the soul of their people.
Indonesia today is a republic, yet the legacy of kings endures. The Sultan of Yogyakarta still plays a role in politics and culture. Palaces remain centers of tradition, where music, dance, and rituals connect the present to the past. The kings of Indonesia were more than rulers. They were visionaries, builders, prophets, and guardians of identity. Their legacies live on in temples, in traditions, and in the spirit of the people. To know them is to know the soul of the archipelago. Their stories remind us that leadership is not only about ruling, but about guiding, protecting, and inspiring generations yet to come. From Jayabaya's prophecies to Gajah Mada's oath, from Tribhuvana's courage to Sultan Agung's vision, the monarchs of Indonesia shaped a history as vast and diverse as the islands themselves. Their voices may have faded, but their legacies remain, etched in stone, sung in rituals, and carried in the hearts of millions. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. If you enjoyed this exploration of the famous kings of Indonesia, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your journey is just beginning, and we can't wait to see where it takes you next.